When the Latter-day Saints make up their minds to endure for the kingdom of God's sake, whatsoever shall come, whether poverty or riches, whether sickness or to be driven by mobs, they will say, it is all right, and they will honor the hand of the Lord in it and in all things, and serve him to the end of their lives according to the best of their ability. If you have not made up your minds for this, the quicker you do so, the better. You can see the soul enlarged without hypocrisy in Brigham Young, the intellectual stretching, the spiritual stretching, and the powerful insights he had, which he shares so generously with us. And it means, in effect, that Brigham Young's joy was not at the mercy of men or circumstance. And it means, likewise, you and I need to be able to utter those words, it is all right, even when we're confronted with things we cannot fully explain or understand, to know that God does and that he loves us. And Brigham helps us to appreciate that. If we don't do it, we'll be too much at the mercy of our moods, too much at the mercy of circumstances. Another thing about joy is it not only helps us do our gospel duties, but joy increases our individuality. More than we realize, it's sinners who have such a stale sameness about them. Righteousness lends itself to individuality. Think in contrast of poor Lemuel, who hearkened unto Laman. He was Laman's satellite. One wonders if poor Lemuel ever had any thoughts of his own. But as we see righteousness infused in someone like Brigham Young or Eliza Snow, then there is a flowering of individuality, immense use of talents and integrity. But it means we have to be patient. We have to educate our desires, as President Joseph F. Smith said. God's ways of educating our desires are, of course, always the most perfect. And what is God's way? Everywhere in nature, we are taught the lessons of patience and waiting. We want things a long time before we get them. And the fact that we wanted them a long time makes them all the more precious when they come. In nature, we have our seed time and harvest. And if children were taught that the desires that they sow may be reaped by and by through patience and labor, they will learn to appreciate whenever a long looked-for goal has been reached. Nature resists us and keeps admonishing us to wait. Indeed, we are compelled to wait. Our patience, brothers and sisters, is the flip side of God's long-suffering. They go together, and they were in such a meld in the life of Brigham Young. And the more our desires, therefore, become like the Lord's, the greater will be our joy.